All right, guys, a pleasant evening, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
All
Good
right,
evening, sir.
good evening, everybody.
Good
Uh,
evening, sir.
Good evening, Zahenia. All right, so, uh, good evening, Grayson. All right, good. All right, guys, so I've officially gotten back my device. Simonia, I'm just seeing a message that was sent to me on the 22nd of February. And for those of you who would have sent me messages, I'm going to respond to them. So much message, oh my lord. All right, so finally get back my device, so I'll respond to you in a timely manner. All right, okay. So a few updates. Make sure that we are all aware of upcoming proceedings. All right, so so the first thing, guys, is we want to talk about not well, just mention a few things. We want to talk about the marathon that's coming up. Good night, Abigail. So we'll talk about the marathon that's coming up. I haven't built the posters yet, but as soon as I've done it, I'll send it in the group. But the importance of the marathon, right? Remember that our marathon is geared towards a complete year review, right? It's a complete year review. Last year, I made it mandatory for everybody to come face to face, right? But there were a lot of persons last year who missed out on the opportunity because they couldn't come on a Saturday because of work, and they also could not come on a Sunday. All right, so they couldn't come on Saturday because of work, right? And they couldn't come on Sunday because of the proximity of where they live to the location. So many persons sort of missed out on the opportunity of taking advantage of the marathons. So my employer and I have looked into the idea of creating, like I said, an online version for the marathon where the same amount of hours that the face-to-face persons get, you guys will be getting the same amount of hours. So we'll be working from 9 a.m. in the morning until 3 on a Sunday, just as how we would do it face-to-face, but this time we're going to do it online. So nobody online will be missing out. You only miss out if you genuinely cannot afford to attend. Now, the poster is not yet built, but I can give you some basic charges to it. So for each class, it's going to be $2,000. And like I said, the classes are going to be running from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. All right, with a 1 hour break in between. So we have a 1 hour break period, right? Where you can come offline. I'm going to leave, right? You can come offline and come back online when the time starts. So it's going to be an active Sunday. The tentative start date is March the 28th. Or it's the 29th, I think. If the 28th is a Saturday, then it's going to be the 29th. So that's when we're starting. So March the 29th, 2025. And we're running this all the way until May the 9th, 2026, pardon me, guys. Right, so it's going to be every Sunday that will be working. Now, some persons prefer face-to-face. The face-to-face options are available for you. But if you genuinely cannot make it on a Saturday because of work, then you know you have the option to come online where you're going to get the same type of teaching. You're going to get different questions, obviously. You're going to get the same type of teaching. You're going to get the same hours. Nothing won't change. It's just that with you online persons, we have to do what is called a pre-registration. So you have to pre-register weekly, or you can do, when you see the poster come out, you can take advantage of the package deal that we have, where we try to let you come to all of them at a more affordable cost, right? Once you pay for the whole entire month, then you can do it that way. Some person cannot afford to pay for the whole entire month, so some person would prefer to pay per class. That's entirely up to you. Now, as I said, guys, in the marathons, guys, we do a lot of past paper questions. And in that time, not only is it a complete year review of whatever we've been teaching from September all the way to this point, but it's going to be primarily focused on strategy of how to approach the exam. So we're going to focus on strategy and how to approach the exam. We're going to look at comprehension, how to interpret the questions, right? We're going to be working various questions from various past papers to give you guys the ultimate chance. Now, be reminded that the syllabus is changing next year. I want you guys to really depend on the marathon, because when you depend on the marathon, guys, you're giving yourself a chance to go into the exam to shoot your shot, right? You have to give yourself a chance to shoot your shot. Unless you're already good or you're comfortable, you can practice on your own. I encourage you to save the money. But if you know you need the help, and you know, right, you need to take advantage of it, because, like I said, it's that time of the year where even if you miss out on certain topics or you miss several classes because of circumstances beyond your control, the marathon is what for years, every year, people depend on this. People depend on it to catch up and to put themselves in that exam mode. All right. Remember, your exam is on May the 12th at 9 a.m. in the morning. Okay, that's the date of the exam. So it's May the 12th. So take advantage of it, guys. Once I post the poster, you guys can start pre-registering for your classes that you're going to be attending. You don't have to come to all of them, right? So you come to the ones that you can afford to come to. I would recommend that you come to all of them, but if you cannot afford it, because we know say money do everything, and not everybody has the luxury of doing it. So you guys can take advantage of I would recommend that you take advantage of the package deal because it's cheaper, right? It's a lot cheaper. When you look at the overall cost that you'll be paying per marathon, you'll be paying at least 25% less when you take the package deal. So I'd recommend that you guys come to all the marathons, because every marathon will be a different paper, a different question, how we get this thing done. Okay? So that is it for that. But we'll talk more about it as time goes by. Another thing that I want to mention to you, you would have seen a message in the group about a new for the online students, you need to send me your new class pass. So I was instructed to ask you guys for the class pass this week. So what I would have done is that I should have changed the link next week. But what I'm going to do for you, because we know say I'm going to do everything, so I'm not going to change the link next week. So this week would have been the start of the new term. Next week is when I'm supposed to request the link, the new class pass from you. But I'm going to give you guys another week, different from what the school give me. So on the 13th or so, the 13th, it's a Saturday, the 14th. So on the 15th of March is when I'm going to change the link. All right. So I'm giving everybody a 2-week grace period to organize themselves, because not everybody is in the position to jump on that. So I'll say it to my employer and let them know that I'm giving you guys an extra week to put it all together. So start sending me your screenshot to request the new link, because the new link will be sent only to the persons that send me a screenshot of their payment to the school. Okay? All right. So putting that out there. All right. So that's 10 minutes of our class time gone into discussion. Trust that you guys don't have any questions. If there's no questions, we're going to proceed into what we're going to be doing tonight. Okay? Any questions? All right, no questions. All right, lovely. Oh, Dominic, you had sent me a message, not true? Yeah, man, I'm so respond to you, man. It's just a lot. It's a lot going on. I must have tried to balance the equation. So when you say I don't respond to you, it's a case where I have your message. It's just that I haven't opened it. I don't like to open message and not respond to it. So just give me some time. All right. As it relates to the SB, I've been seeing a lot more persons sending me the SB. If I haven't responded to you, it's just because I'm just waiting to give you a appropriate response. All right, so don't worry. I have to answer all of your messages. I'm not ignoring you. It's just a lot of messages coming in from students because everybody seems to be doing this last minute rush thing. So if you are one of those persons who are sending in the SBA late and last minute, you're going to be falling into a queue. And just as though I had to wait for you to start sending me the SB at this time period, you guys have to also be very patient in getting your response. You send it late, you're gonna get a late response. You send it early, you're gonna get an early response. So you have to just be patient, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, me alone, and I have 176 students to attend to. So everybody's pinging me. Everybody has sent the thing late. So, you have to just understand that if you send it late and you're rushing, you can't get a response early when you start sending your SBA late because there were other persons before you, me and them, that they and I have been dialoguing. So me have to get rid of them first and just them good, then I attend to you. All right. So remember, when you send me an SBA, you have joined a queue with maybe 30, 40 persons in front of you. So you have to just be patient. Okay. Now, also, whilst I'm marking, that doesn't mean that because the deadline is the 15th, if you miss the deadline, that doesn't mean so you're not sending your SBA. It's just that deadline is when I want to start marking my SBAs. But while I'm marking, I'm still accepting SBA the same way. So if you miss the deadline of the 15th, the one say, oh, boy, I fail the exams. No. I'm not saying don't send me your SBA. I'm telling you that the deadline to submit your SBA so I can start marking, and so you'll have ample time to get back the SBA if correction is needed, is March the 15th. But I'll be collecting SBAs all the way up to April, same way. But the longer you take to send me, is the longer you're going to take to get a response. And when the actual deadline comes for me to submit it on the portal, if you miss that portal date, then that's end of story. So I'll recommend that you start sending in SBAs on or before the 15th so I can mark and give you back your correction if needed. Or if there's no correction required, then I'll tell you what your grade is, and if you want to accept it, you can, or if you want to improve on it, you can. Okay? All right, so that is clear. I hope that is clear. All right, so that's out of the way, those 3 notices. Please adhere to those information, guys, and act appropriately and responsibly to those notifications, okay? With that said, let's jump into tonight's class. All right, so I was told by one of my students that tonight's topic is a continuation of trigonometry. That's what we started last week. Can we all confirm that, please? Can someone out of the class confirm that our last topic
Yes, sir.
was trigonometry? Okay. Okay. And I believe that we had gone through a whole hoorah of the whole right angle triangle. And I think we only did one example of the Pythagoras theorem.
That is correct.
Only one example. All right, good.
Only one, yes.
All right, so we're going to run through a couple more examples tonight, and then we're going to dive into the trig ratios tonight. So that's the objective of tonight, is to do a couple of questions on the Pythagoras theorem and jump into the concept of the sine, cosine, and tangent ratio. Okay? All right, so let's get it. Oh, can someone confirm? Did I post last week's recordings as yet? For those who checked out the channel, did I post?
No, sir.
I haven't?
I haven't get any notifications.
Of last week's recordings? Okay, my apologies. I thought I had uploaded it. Okay, I will do so as soon as I possibly can. All right, so here we go. So last week, ladies and gentlemen, this is a quick little run through, a quick little recap. Last week, we had a rather healthy discussion about this shape here. All right, and this shape is known as a right angle triangle. And this right angle triangle basically obviously has 3 sides, but these 3 sides have a name. And the names of the sides depend on something. We said that this side over here is called our hypotenuse. And the reason why we call it the hypotenuse is simply because in terms of the length, it is said to be the longest side. It is said to be the longest side in terms of the length. When you do the calculation, it always works out to be the longest side. But we also did an example where we said that if this is an angle right here, then this side becomes the opposite. And then the other side becomes the adjacent. All right? And we had some smaller triangles where we had done some experiments. So remember that the triangle is not always going to look like this, right? The triangle will occasionally look like this, backwards like that. It may look upside down like that. It may look downside up like that. So you have different orientations of the shape. The shape can orientate in different directions. But what's most important is if you notice that the hypotenuse is always in front of the box. And depending on where the angle is, then based on where the angle is, then you'll realize that your opposite side is here. The height is here. The height is here. The opposite is there. The height is here. The opposite is over there. So subsequently, the other side has to be the adjacent side. All right. So we would have gone through that in its entirety about how to name the sides. But what we had done in the last class, because I thought I think I overteach last week, like I genuinely overteach last week. So what we had done, give me a sec here, let me draw a line about of this. So we had introduced a topic known as the Pythagoras theorem. And so the Pythagoras theorem, so the Pythagoras theorem. So the Pythagoras theorem states that, well, the formula is, I believe what I gave you was h squared is equal to o squared plus a squared. Can you confirm that you're seeing that in your notes?
Yes, sir.
All right, so you're confirming that you've seen this in your notes. Let's put a box around it here.
Yes.
And we said that the H stands for the hypotenuse, the O stands for the opposite, and the A stands for the adjacent. So let's look here. If I give you a triangle like this, and I put a box in the corner, and I say to you that this side is 15 centimeter, this side is 9 centimeter, and then this side is obviously going to be something like X. I don't know, it could be X, it could be Y, it could be A, it could be B. This side is X centimeter. And the question says, determine the measure. No, we don't use the word measure. Determine the length of X. All right? So now the criteria that needed to be met, the criteria for us to decide whether or not to use this formula was based on two things. One, for us to confirm that the Pythagoras theorem is required, we must be given, hold on. Somebody's writing on my screen. Latisha?
Hi, sir.
All right. So for us to confirm whether or not the Pythagoras theorem is required, it's going to be, we must be given two sides. Remember, for you to use the Pythagoras theorem, we must be given two sides. If you don't get two sides, you cannot use it. You have to be given two sides, but you must also be looking to find the third side. So be very careful. The Pythagoras theorem is used to find, the length of a side. Length of a side. That's the only purpose it's used for, to find the length of a side. So if I give you two sides, what I said to you, find the angle theta, don't get tricked. Pythagoras theorem is not used to find an angle. The Pythagoras theorem is used to find the length of a side. But for you to find the length of the side, you must be given any two of the other sides. So there's going to be situations where you're given the height and the O. So you may be given this and this to find this. Or you may be given this and this to find this. Or you may be given this and this to find that. So it depends. Now in this example, if you check it out, right? Let's just erase here. And erase this, and erase that, and erase that as well. If you look at this diagram carefully, you'll realize that we were given h, not true? Because h is in front of the hypotenuse. Well, h is in front of the right angle. In this case, it doesn't matter what we call O or A because there's no angle involved. So if you want to call this O and call that A, or you want to call this A and call that O, in this case, it doesn't matter because there's no angle in the question to determine what is O and A. So in this case, anyone can be O or A. So therefore then, if you scooch you over here, right, and we looked at this, we can say that 8 squared is equal to O squared plus A squared. It doesn't matter. Now if you look at the diagram here, you can see that H is 15, so that's going to be 15 squared. And that's equal to O is going to be 9 squared, and obviously we're looking for A squared. All right, let me just remove this capital A and put a common A. All right, good. So now working this out, 15 squared on your calculator, you can confirm it. That is 225. And 9 squared is 81. Plus A squared. And using our algebra skills of solving an equation, bring this over here. We're going to get 225 minus 81 equals A squared. So 225 minus 81. Sir, why is it minus 81? Because like we discussed in algebra, when you transfer or transpose something to either side of the equation, it's going to change its sign. So 25 minus 81, that's going to give us, let me see here. That's going to be 119 plus 25, that's 120, 134. Confirming? Confirmation?
144, sir.
Oh, it's 144. Oh, thank you so much. My math is off tonight. So 144. And so therefore, the square root of 144 is equal to A. Because you have to square root both sides to find A. So therefore, 12 is equal to A. Therefore, this side right here is equal to 12 centimeter. Any questions? Any questions on that? Okay, no questions. Everybody good. All right, guys, sorry about that. I was muted. All right, so now, that's just a single diagram. That's just a single shape. Obviously, you're not going to get that in the exam. This is just the fundamental principle. Where it gets tricky now is when you end up with diagrams like this. Let me just zoom in a little bit here. So where it gets tricky now, guys, is when you end up with a diagram like this one. All right. So you end up with a diagram like this where it says something like P, Q, R, S. And I can ask you for various things on this diagram here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some information on this diagram here.
Sorry, you're right. Yeah.
It's A. Oh, my handwriting is so bad. Oh, Lord. It says P, Q, R, S. All right, so let me put some information on the diagram here. Let's put this side to be 9 centimeter. Let's put this side to be 17 centimeter. And let us put this side to be over here 12 centimeter. And let us call this side here X. So you can get a diagram like that, and the question says for 3 marks, you are to find the length of X. So you have to find the side that is marked X. Now, I believe that in our last class, we would have looked at how to break up the shape. In the latter part of the class, we would have looked at how to break up the shape. I believe that we had discussed how many triangles are on the shape. So we looked at the fact that for this particular diagram here, we have 3 triangles. Not so? We have triangle A, we have triangle B, and when you put them together, we end up with triangle C. Not true? So we looked at that last class. So based on what you're trying to find.
No, sir, I mix up a class.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
So we never looked at the fact that them type of shape here have 2 triangles joined together. Over there you have triangle.
Not in this class, sir.
Oh, we didn't. Okay.
No.
All right. I usually do it, but all right, that's fine. No worries. Now let's take a look at the triangle where the X is. The triangle that contains the X that you're looking for, it simply only has one side. And you don't know, or there's no formula that exists to help you find a side that has one side. So at the moment, this triangle over here cannot help you. Even though the side that you're trying to find is on this triangle, you're going to have to use another triangle to assist you. Now, move your eyes over to this triangle over here. Notice that this triangle over here ends up with 2 sides. We have this side here and that side here. So, here's the situation. We can use these 2 sides to find this side here, which is the one in the center. So we can use those 2 lengths to find this. And notice now that once we have found this middle piece right here, once we have found this little middle piece right here, this triangle over here now is going to end up with 2 sides. It's going to end up with the side that was given, which is this, and it would also end up with the side that we calculated. So this triangle over here now on the right is going to end up with 2 sides. So here's the path that we're going to take. We're going to use the triangle on the left, right? We're going to use this triangle here on the left, this one right here, to help us find this side right here. We're going to use the triangle on the left to help us find that side. Now, since as we have 2 sides, we can utilize the formula 8 squared is equal to O squared plus 8 squared plus A squared. So in this case now, the H is going to be 17, because remember that the H is the hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse is in front of the 90 degree. And any side can be O or A, so in this case, I'm going to make O be the side that we're trying to help us, the side that we need, which is the PR side, the one that is in the center, one that runs down in the middle. We're going to make O be that side, so we're going to call that side PR squared. And then A now is going to be 9 squared. Again, it doesn't matter which one you choose for A or O. In this case, it doesn't matter. So 17 squared is going to be 289. Obviously, PR squared is unknown, so we're going to wait for that. And 9 squared is 81. Using the knowledge from last class, carried over the 81 over here, we're going to get 289 minus 81, and that's going to give us a total of, that's going to give us the length of PR squared. So go ahead and subtract those 2, please. We're going to get 207. Can you confirm? Or 208?
208.
208. So PR squared is equal to 208. Therefore, PR is going to be equal to the square root of 208. So PR, which is the side in the center, will therefore give us What's the length of PR now? What's the square root of 208?
14.42.
14.42. So 14.4 is fine. All right, 1 dp doesn't matter. 1 dp, 2 dp, work with 1 dp. So 14 point, what is it, 14.2 or 14.4? 14.2.
14.4, sir.
Oh, it's 14.4. Okay, thank you. So what does this mean for us now? Let's put this in a little box. This now is the length of PR. That means from here to right down here is 14.4. So now that we have that information now, notice that the triangle over here, this triangle here, now ends up with two sides. The one that is in the middle is 14.4, and the one over here is 12. I'm going to have to change this number, guys, because 14.4 is too big. So I'm going to change this to 19. All right? Just so the maths can work out. Yes, go ahead. Question?
I was going to ask you how you arrived with the 9.
Oh, it was given.
Let's see it.
The 9 right here, there.
Oh, they look like a 1.
Oh, no, man. 9.
That's why I wonder where.
It's 9. All right, so I'm changing this to 19 so the math can work. Lovely. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let me just zoom out a little bit here. All right, oops. There we go. Little better. All right, so now that we have PR to be 14.4, we're going to use that now and go back to use Pythagoras theorem again, because that now is going to lead us now to finding x, because the triangle over here now has two sides. So 8 squared again is equal to a squared plus o squared. Again, I can switch up the a and the o if I want. It doesn't matter. But since as we're over this triangle over here now, h is going to be 19 now. So 19 squared is equal to 14.4 squared, where we just find, plus o squared is going to be x now, because the o that we're looking for is that side here. X right there. That's the unknown side. So we're going to call that x squared. 19 squared confirmed, guys, is 361. And 14.4 squared, confirm that, please. What is 14.4 squared?
207.36. 4.4.
All right, plus x squared. Using our algebra skills, bring this over here. 361 minus 207.36 equals x squared. All right, subtract those two for me, please, guys.
153.64.
153 point.
64.
64, very good. And that's equal to
64.
64, thank you. So now to find x now, x is going to be the square root of 153.64. That's going to be x. So x works out nicely to be a little bit under 13. It's going to be 12 point change, probably 12.7 or so, or 12.8.
12.39.
Oh, so far 12.39, so 12.4. Round it off, 12 centimeters. So that side that we have up here, let me zoom it out here. That side then works out nicely to be 12.4. Okay, so these are the questions you're going to be expecting to get, where there are going to be occasions where Pythagoras theorem has to be used twice to get to your answer. Okay, very rare that you'll get this, but expect that these type of questions do occur. You're not going to get the nice questions them all the time where it's just one single diagram. It's going to be a conversion. It's going to be a composite diagram. Lovely. All right. Let me know if you have any questions before I move on.
So you can zoom out for a bit, please.
Okay, there you go. Good to go?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any questions before we move on to the more advanced version? No? All right. So remember, leaving this topic right here, for you to use the Pythagoras theorem, remember this formula is used in a right-angled triangle. That's where it's used. And you must be given two sides to apply it. Otherwise, if those two criteria are not met, then Pythagoras theorem is not applicable. Okay? All right. All right, so let's grab a little thing here and border off this right here. Good. So now we're going to be moving on now to the other version, right? We're going to be learning. Remember, we looked at the map last week. I said who work in which department. So you guys have been introduced to the first employee of trigonometry, Mr. Pythagoras. You know his job is what? No, we understand what his job is. Let's meet his partner in crime. So his partner in crime is going to be the trig ratios. So these three boys, or three girls, if you want to call them that, these three boys work together. So we call them the trig ratios. The trig stands for trigonometry. So trig ratios. These boys work hand in hand. And let's just recap what they're used for. So the trig ratios, your primary responsibility is very similar to that of the Pythagoras theorem. They are also used to find the length of an unknown side. They are used to find the length of an unknown side. But in addition to that, they have more responsibilities than the Pythagoras. They are also used to find the size of an unknown angle. So they have more responsibility, right? Size of an unknown angle. So their responsibility is a little bit higher. And most of the time, ladies and gentlemen, you call upon these boys whenever Pythagoras cannot help you. So when you see a right angle triangle, you always go to Pythagoras first. He's always that go-to person. Hey, Pythagoras, can you assist me in solving this question? He's going to assess the question. Well, you're going to assess the question and decide if Pythagoras is helpful in this department. Now, if Pythagoras is not helpful, then you don't have a choice but to consult these boys. So who are these boys? Who are these trig ratios? Now, over the years, I'm sure that you guys might have heard about this, right? So you would have been exposed to something with them called SOHCAHTOA. And SOHCAHTOA is, as some people call it, abbreviation, but it's really a mnemonic, right? So it's a mnemonic. It's a mnemonic that we use to help students to remember the sides that is associated with each ratio. So if you look carefully at each ratio, sine, cosine, tangent, you can obviously see here that the S stands for sine. And you'll be also, S stands for sine, but you can only apply a trig ratio to an angle. So we say sine theta, and we know that sine theta, the O stands for the only side you know starts with the O, which is the opposite. And the 8 stands for hypotenuse. You'll then follow the routine and you say, oh, okay, well, this is easy. Cos, which is cos of an angle again, is equal to adjacent divided by hypotenuse. I'll be like, all right, I get this now. So that means TOA is tan, which therefore tan of the angle is equal to opposite over adjacent. Now, I genuinely don't like to tell my students that, oh, these formulas come on the exam, so don't worry. Because I've seen situations where I've given students the formula and tell them that this question requires this formula, and them still get it wrong. So I don't think whether I tell you that the formula is on the exam paper, I don't think it's going to make a difference, because the most important thing is knowing when to use the formula. Because you can know the formula, you can go home and study this and it's stuck in your brain. But then if you don't know when to use it or how to use it, then learning that formula is irrelevant. So focus mainly, guys, on how and when to use it. Now, when do we use this formula, guys? Is when we want to find the things in red. When we want to find the length of an unknown side, or we want to find the size of an unknown angle. That is when we use it. Right? Where do we use it? It's very obvious that we use it in a right angle triangle. So that is the where. So the where, pardon me, guys. So the where is in the right angle triangle. That's the where. The when is when we want to find these things in red. Now we're going to be looking at the how. How do we use it? Which one do we use? If I present you with 3 options, you're going to get confused. Just imagine if I took one of you guys to Burger King and say, hey, I'm going to buy you guys a meal today, but these are the 3 options that you're going to choose from. You're gonna probably, after making a choice, you're going to be like, you know what? I wish you did choose this cinnamon instead. When you present people with more than one options, it becomes very confusing for them. Whether you believe it or not, it has been proven that if you give persons 2 options, they can either choose this or that. They always make a decision and wish they had made another choice. So it's very clear now that if I give you 3 options, we can't have Nicolita choosing the sign. We can't have Stacia choosing the cos. And then we have Sash Monique choosing tan. All because you feel like that's the formula to use. No, there's no feel like. Each diagram will give you the information that will then direct you as to which one you should use. Let's look at those examples now of how to apply the ratio. Okay, so now, here we go. I'm going to draw a diagram here. Start with a standard triangle. Lovely. Put my little box in the corner right here, so. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop on some lengths now. So I'm going to call this 12 centimeter. And now I'm going to put an angle in here. In the previous examples, I didn't put an angle here. Notice I only put sides. So now I'm implementing an angle, and I'm going to call this angle 34 degrees. Right? But this time now, I'm going to ask you to find, or we're going to try to find x. Now, does anybody in here, or can anyone in here tell me why is it that the Pythagoras theorem cannot be applied to find x? Remember, the Pythagoras theorem is used to find the length, So what's the main reason why Pythagoras theorem cannot be applied to this question? Very good, Galia. We do not have 2 sides. Right? She answered in the chat. So she says that we cannot use the Pythagoras theorem simply because only one side was given to us. Remember, for us to use Pythagoras theorem, you must be given 2 sides. If you're not given 2 sides, then you have to turn to one of these boys. Now, we've eliminated Pythagoras theorem as assistants. You link up Pythagoras. Pythagoras, can you help me solve this question? He says, hey, I can't really help you, Why you can't help me? Because you don't have I need another side to help you. You'll be like, all right, cool. You know what? You can't help me. I'm going to check sine, cosine, and tangent. So you ask the boys, which one of you boys can assist me with this? So here's the boys now. The boys are going to look at the situation, and here's what's going to come up now. So the boys are going to look at the diagram and be like, okay, this is H, and the side you're looking for is A. So how you know say X is A? Remember, say this angle tells us where O is. So if we know where the O is, then automatically the other side must be A. So guess what happens now? When you realize that H is given and you're looking for A, this guy says, I can help you because this guy deals with H and A. So he handles the H and A affairs. So cosine jumps up on like, all right, I can assist you with this question. So therefore, cosine is what you're going to be using to help you to solve this problem. Let's go to cosine. So cosine says cos. So cosine says you're going to cos the angle. Cosine says you're going to cos the angle. And then you're going to equate that to the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse. So go ahead and cos it. You're going to cos the 34. And then you're going to equate that now to the opposite side, which is, sorry, guys, no, help me now. Unless I make me right, foolishness.
Sir, I was just about to.
Likewise.
Yeah, man, confirm it, man. Because sometimes I'm thinking way ahead, guys. So it is A over H. Oh, no, what the classes are write off everything when we say. Remember, so when we write off foolishness, So cos of the angle is equal to the adjacent side, which in this case is marked by the letter X. And the hypotenuse side is going to be 12. Now here we're going to replace the angle with 34. So go on your calculator for me, guys, and please cosine 34. In fact, you know what? We're not going to do that. Here's what we're going to do. X is on top. So when the unknown is at the top, we're going to cross multiply. So because X is on the top, we're going to cross multiply. Once the unknown is at the top, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cross multiply. So go ahead and say X now is equal to 12 multiplied by the cosine of 34. Go ahead and do that for me, please. And then you should get the value of X. Answer. Answer, guys. Anybody help me out? 12 multiplied by the cosine of 34. Why is it taking so long?
I'm getting 9.95.
That's the answer.
9.94.
9594. So 9.9 is fine for me. 9.95, 9.94 price of rice now go change. 9.9 is within my range, so I'm good to go. Even if you want to change the 5 to 10, the 5 will go change. If you want to write X equal 10, I'll accept that as well. No big deal. No need to lose a tooth over the decimal place. So X is equal to 9.9, and that's it. That is how you use the ratio to find the length of a side. Okay? Any questions on that? How did I did what? Why did I choose this? What, where, how, which? Any questions?
I can do our next example.
Oh, most definitely. We're going to be doing it. We're going to be mixing them up. Finding angles, finding side. But for this particular question, are you okay?
Sir,
Yes, good.
good night. So it's 12 times 34.
Cos 34.
Cost 34, 9.9. I'll get it now.
Okay, good. All right, everybody Gucci. Gucci with this question. Okay. I'll Gucci with that one. All right. More examples are coming up, man. We're going to be running through about 6 of them. So you're going to have your chance, but we're going to mix them up. We're going to find lengths. We're going to find angles. So we're going to mix them up. So with that question, you're Gucci. Let's do another one.
So bring it down, please. Let me screenshot. I don't like to write when you're teaching because I tend to miss out.
I got you. She's the best way to learn.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, lovely. All right, so let's do another example. So this time now I'm going to give an example where we're going to be finding the angle instead as opposed to the side. I'm going to go back to finding the side shortly, but I'm going to mix them up a little bit. Okay? All right, so here we go. Oh, Lord. What am I doing? Put on this right here. So this time now, I'm going to find this angle. I'm going to call it theta. But I'm going to call this side 15. And I'm going to call this side 10. And this time I want to find the angle instead. Now, interesting to hear your response to this. So you're going to say find theta. Now, can someone tell me why is it that Pythagoras theorem is not applicable? I'd love to hear this response. Why is it that I can't use Pythagoras theorem?
So because they're not trying to find the length.
That is correct. Very good. You're not trying to find the length. So you see, even though I presented two sides to you, please take a note of what you're being asked to find. So nobody go jump the gun and be like, oh, this is easy. Yeah, man. Sir said Pythagoras theorem is used when you get two sides to find the third side. I'm not finding the third side. I'm finding the angle. So you see, the moment you're asked to find the angle, that concludes that your choice has to be one of those boys, because those boys are the boys that are used to find the angle. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we've eliminated Pythagoras theorem because we are not finding the length. We are finding the angle instead. That's why we eliminate Pythagoras theorem. So let's go then. We're going to go ahead and we're going to write. Oh, we need to figure out which one of the boys are going to help us. So we call upon the boys. Which one of you boys can help us? Cos, sine, or tan? Let's see who jumps up. So we know right away that 15 becomes the opposite because it is in front of the angle that we're trying to find. And we already know that these are the hypotenuse because it is in front of the box. So therefore, this has to be the adjacent. So guess who jump up? Tan. Tan realized that O and A was given. And according to the SOHCAHTOA mnemonic, O and A, Tan is responsible for O and A. So therefore, we're going to say that tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. Now, like before, we would have tan an angle, but the angle is not given, so we're going to leave tan theta alone. And the opposite side now is going to be 15, and the adjacent side is going to be 10. Go ahead and divide 15 by 10 for me, please.
1.5.
1.5. Now, please take a note of this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go to my calculator on the screen. So for you students who are using a calculator, there's a button on your calculator that says shift. Give me a sec, let me grab my calculator. Okay, hold on. Give me a sec. You see my whiteboard, but you're not seeing my screen. Give me a second. It's coming up. You guys should be seeing my screen now. All right. So calculator. So for those later that says it's to your top left. It is to your top left. Now, some of you guys have shift. Look at this that is being highlighted. You see that button that's highlighted on the screen? 2ND. Some of you guys have that 2ND on your calculators. Some of you don't. Some of you are using your computer. Some of you are using your tablets or whatever. But on the phone or on gadgets, we use 2ND. On your calculator, you should see the button shift. Now, please note, all right, I'm gonna unhighlight it. Look down here in row number 1, 2, 3, 4. Look in row 4. the row before the last row, where you have X with that exclamation mark, SINCOS tan, E123 plus sign, that row. Do you see all our trig functions in that row? Sine, cos, and tan. Now pay attention, guys, when I press second function, what happens to sine, cos, and tan? You realize that it becomes sine minus 1, cos minus 1, tan minus 1. So that is how you find the angle. So because we are using tan, ladies and gentlemen, because we are using tan, we're going to press tan inverse. And we're going to punch in the number that came up earlier. Tan. So when you press, all right, so for the calculator persons who are using calculator, please press shift, then press tan. It's going to bring up that tan minus 1 that you're seeing on my screen.
Yeah, I did that. I got 56.3.
All right, hold it, 56.3. So make sure everybody's on the right part. For those who are using a calculator, look to the top left of your calculator, press the shift button, press tan. What comes up on your screen should be exactly what is on my screen. Tan raised to the minus 1. Punch in the 1.5 and it spits out your angle. 56.3. For those who are using device and you're seeing this A tan, don't worry about it. This is how the gadgets like your phone and the tablets, that's how they write the inverse of the function. A tan, it stands for arctan. All right, but you won't be able to use a phone or a device in your exam. So if you don't have a calculator, you need to get one because you're going to need it in the exam. Okay, so as confirmed by Stacia, that the answer is 53 point. Was it 53.6 or 53? 53 point. What was it?
56.3.
56.3. So round that off to the nearest degree. It is 56 degree. So I'm going to go back to my whiteboard now. Confirm if you guys are seeing my whiteboard. Is it loading? You seeing it?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Lovely. So therefore now you're going to write this down now. You're going to say therefore now theta is equal to tan minus 1, 1.5. And the calculator should tell you that the answer is 56 degrees approximately. And that's it. So that is how you find the angle. Let me put a note here. On screen, it is the shift button. For some of you, depending on the type of calculator you have, you might see 2ND, a second function. Then you're going to press the trig function you're using. It's not always going to be tan. It can be sine, it can be cos. And then now you're going to put the number that came up right here after you made the division. Whatever number you divide here and get, put that number in that bracket. So you're going to put the number here and then press equal and it gives you the angle. Okay? So please make a note of that. All right, let's do one more example. Let's do two more examples. One more example, finding the side, and one more example, finding the angle. And you should have enough to help yourself. Then we're going to move on to a more structured exam question. Okay? Everybody Gucci on this particular question? Any hula? Nothing? Okay, lovely. Fantastico. All right. All right, let's go back to another example. I think Akila or Miss Wright had asked to go over another example with finding the side. Here's your opportunity now. So if you notice, for every question, I'm changing the orientation. So I'm showing you, as I go through my examples, I'm showing you that the diagrams will not always be set in one orientation. It will change up. But what's most important is that you pay attention to the different sides. So here now I'm going to put an X here. I'm going to put 9 centimeter here. I'm going to put an angle of 22 degrees here, and you're asked to find x. All right, 22 degrees. For those who don't see this, this is 22 degrees. All right, so now you're being asked to find x. Now, once again, can Pythagoras help you? You have to eliminate Pythagoras, you know. Because them only can work one at a time. It's either Pythagoras theorem or it's going to be the trig ratio. There's rarely ever a case, rarely is there ever a case where both Pythagoras and the trig ratio can be applied at the same time. That kind of does not make the question. It's no longer fun. When you have two choices, two formulas that can both work, it takes the fun out of the question. So question is, can Pythagoras theorem be used? If your answer is no, tell me why.
No, sir, because there's only one side.
Fantastic. Excellent answer. So therefore, let's call on one of those boys. Which boy is going to help us? To know which boy is going to help you, label your sides. This is what? H, because it is in front of the 90 degree. And then because the angle 22 is up here, it makes this my what? O. So who do we call upon?
Sine.
Who is responsible for O and H?
Sine.
Very good. So sine theta is equal to opposite over hype. Proceed. Now we have an angle. And the angle we have found. We have the angle now. So we're going to sine 22. We're going to sine 22. And then opposite now is going to be 9 over the hypotenuse is x. Now, careful now, you know. Look at the first example now, you know. Let me zoom out for you and show you what I'll go on. Look at the first example that we did. Let's go back up here. The first example that we did, notice where the x was. Do you notice that the x was at the top? Right here? What did we say what happens when the x is at the top? The cross multiply. But pay attention to the one down here now. Where is the x? It's at the bottom.
bottom.
So when the x is at the bottom, what does that mean for us? We're going to swap. So what do you mean by swap? You're going to carry the x come up here and carry the sine 22 come down here. We're going to swap. I'm giving you a legal shortcut. All right? If you want to go ahead and multiply both sides by x and then divide back by sine 22, have fun. God go with you with that. The shortcut is just to swap x and sine 22. So whenever it's here, we're going to do a swap. So you put the x where the sine 22 is and put the sine 22. Sorry, put the x where the sine 22 is, correct? And put the sine 22 where the x was. So we're going to end up with this situation here. That x then is equal to 9 divided by sine 22. So go ahead on your calculator. You should get your answer. X is equal to, what's your answer? 9 divided by sine 22. Guys, where's taking so long?
Got 24.2.
Confirm that somebody
24.
24.2.
4.0.
May I get 24.2? May I get 24.0? What am I getting? I'm not getting the same answer.
24.02, sir.
Oh, 02. Okay, 02. Okay. 24.02. 24 is also fine. If you wrote down 24, that's also correct as well. Because when you roll it off to 1 DP, you're going to get 24.0. And then 0 doesn't change anything. So 20. So 24, 24.02, no problem. All right, everybody go through with that one. No questions on this particular one?
I want you to teacher. Why, sorry? I want to teach what's not telling you.
Sir,
Yes, go ahead.
me not get it, you know. I click the shift button. I click side.
Wait, hold on. For this question here, click shift button.
Me not supposed to click it. Just click
No,
side.
man. Yeah, just click sine 20. Remember, we're not finding the angle. Remember, you only press shift and sign when you're finding the angle.
Oh, I see what happened.
You just type 9 divided by what you see on the screen, sine 22. The previous question we were being asked to find the angle, which theta is equal to that. We're not finding theta now.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Okay, sir.
Nisha, you were saying something there?
Yes, sir, I'm just saying the way how you teach.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're understanding? I didn't hear if you were asking.
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Good. Okay. All right, let's do one more example now, because I don't want to rush it, I would love to do the advanced, but if we don't get to do the advanced question tonight, I want to make sure that the foundation is set. Okay, so let's do one more example, finding an angle. Okay, finding an angle. All right, boom. Oh, I don't like how that look. Hold on, disappeared. Get this question. Okay, here we go. Boop. Where's Zahina gone? All right, lovely. So we have another shape again presenting itself. So that's my 90-degree angle again. So this time now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put an angle here. I'm going to call that, in fact, I'm not going to call it theta again. I don't want you guys get too used to theta, Or you guys get used to symbols as well. So that's alpha. That's just another symbol that we use to represent the angle. So don't let them throw you off by using different symbols. We don't care about what's in that space there. Whatever is in that space, that's what you're going to use as your theta. All right, so this time now we're going to go ahead and we're going to find x here. And this time we're going to put 25 right here. Oh, no, we can't put x and theta. Okay, so this is what we're going to do, right? So I need a measurement here. I'm going to put this as 12. No, not 12. Let's put this as 17, right? All right, question then. I need to find the angle. Can I use Pythagoras theorem? Remember, I have two sides, Can I use Pythagoras?
No, sir.
Why not?
Because it is used to find the length.
Correct, and we're not finding the length. We are finding the angle. So then we have to run to these two. One of these boys is going to help you. To find out which one of the boys is going to help you, you're going to go ahead and put h here. Why is that h? Because it is in front of the 90-degree. And since as we're looking for alpha, we don't say this is O, but we don't really care about that. We only care about this side. So that's A. So when we call out to the boys, sine, cos, tan, which one of you boys can assist me? They all looked at the diagram, and then who is responsible for A and H?
Cos.
Cos is responsible. So Cos says, me. I can help you. Let me help you. Please let me help you. And say, Cos comes to our rescue. So Cos comes out and say, Cos me, or Cos the angle, which in this case is not going to be Cos alpha. It's not going to be Cos theta. Stacey, your cursor is in my way, darling. Thank you very much. So Cos alpha is equal to A divided by H. Now again, Stacia, now what the angle we are finding now, so that shifting is going to come into play. So cos alpha is equal to A, which is 17, divided by H, which is 25. Go ahead on your calculator, please, and tell me what is the result of the cosine, of 17 divided by 25. So cos alpha is equal to that number.
0.68.
0.68. Give me one more number.
That's it.
Oh, 0.68 flat?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's fine. So now, Miss Stacia, remember now, if you're finding the angle, that's when you're going to press Shift cos or second function cos. This should come up on your screen. Cos minus 1, type in the number, and so alpha is equal to
37.15.
37.15. So
47.
37.
47.
47. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I didn't hear you. 47.15. So approximately 47 degree. When I'm giving you the length, please give it in 1 dp. When you're giving me the angle, just give it to a whole number. All right. If you give me 1 decimal point, that won't change the price, all right? So it's not like you're gonna get it wrong, all right? It's not like you're gonna get it wrong if you give me a decimal point. But we prefer that lengths be given in 1 dp, if possible, and angles be given as whole numbers. Noted? Everybody go through with this now?
Yes, sir.
Lovely.
Sir.
Yes, question.
Sir, will it change the answer if you round up?
The 0.68 and say 0.7.
Sir, you would say 48 instead of 47.
What comes after the 47? 47 point what?
One. Oh, sorry, sir.
Gotcha. All right, lovely. So everybody's good with the application of. So the exercise that we just did, the objective of this exercise was to get used to the idea of identifying that the trig ratios are applicable, and we also exercised on how to choose which one to apply. Now, since as we have 7 minutes, if you don't mind, I'll take an extra 5 minutes out of your class will end at 8:30, but I'm gonna ask you for 5 extra minutes just to ensure that we don't leave with just this alone. So let's look at an example question where you're most likely to get on an exam paper. Oh, which reminds me, ladies and gentlemen, you guys haven't been tested throughout the year. You guys are going to be getting a mock exam in April. I want to give you guys an actual Csec paper before you're going on the exam, so you guys can get a realistic point of view as to where exactly are you before the exam. I want to give you at least 3 weeks before the exam. So maybe like the first week in April, and then you guys will have 3 weeks to really check yourself and be like, okay, this is where I really am. 30%, 20%, 15%, 9%, wherever you are, 70%. So you have 3 weeks to shuffle up and fix up yourselves. So brace yourselves, guys, for a mock exam, right? I would love for some of you guys to come and do it face to face, but if you can't, I will accommodate you online. Okay? I will accommodate you online. All right. So before we get out of here, let's run to one last question. Oh Lord, what kind of line is this, Mr. Beard? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that some of you guys have seen this type of diagram before. Somewhere along the way, you would have seen it. All right, so that's my 90-degree angle there. So we're going to put a bunch of things in here now. We're going to mix it up. We're going to mix the Pythagoras theorem with the trig ratio. All right, we're going to do 3 questions. I'm going to ask you for 5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes after 8:30, okay? Just to go through this question, if you don't mind. Abby, your cursor's in my way, darling. Thank you. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so we're going to put some measurements here. We're going to call this, let's call this, what do we call this, Mr. Peart? Let's make it decimals as well. Let's make it tricky. Let's call this 19.5. Let's call this A, by the way. B and C. Let's call this D. Write this properly before you go think of a different letter. D. All right, so 19.5 centimeter. Okay, 19.5 centimeter. And let's call this side 11.4 centimeter. That side is 11.4. As I go along, I'm going to create the questions. Find the length of BC. That's 2 points. All right, part 2 now. We're going to go ahead and find, oh yeah, we can squeeze one little angle up here. Let's call this angle, let me just zoom up a little bit here. So zoom up back, guys. Hold on, I just need to get some space. Let's put this angle up here and call it, let's call this angle, what can I call this angle though, God? Let's call this angle 28 degrees. So I'm putting an angle right there. With that angle there now, I should be able to then ask you to find something else. So I can go ahead and find the length of BC. And then next one is going to be find the length of DC. All right, I'm going to give you 3 marks for this. Find the length of DC. And then now, lovely. Right.
So I think you have that twice.
No, one is BC and one is DC.
Okay.
Ugly writing, man. That's why. So this one is BC and the other one is DC. So BC and DC. We're going to find those 2 lengths. And then there's so limited things I can really ask you to do on this diagram. But I don't want to over you. Okay,
so you can ask us to find one of the angle.
Yeah, that was right. All right, watch this now. Yeah, man. All right, sweet. All right, yeah. So find angle. Oh, what is this? Find angle DAC. Angle DAC. All right. So this will take me about 10 minutes. I don't want to rush, but I don't want to move too slow either. Let's zoom out a little bit here. Lovely. All right, guys, work with me. I'm going to run through this one quick and fast. All right, stay up. So that's the information that was presented. We get 2 sides, 19.5 and 11.4, and we get a single angle of 28. And they ask us a bunch of stuff over here, some madness over here. Let's see how best we can do with this. All right, let's go. So first question says, find the length of BC. Let's use a red marker to find out what we're looking for. We're looking for all of this side right here. All of that side. Now pay close attention, guys, that if you look that we have this outside triangle right here. That outside triangle is a right angle. It's a right angle triangle, not true? So with that information in mind, since we have this side and we have this side, we can use those 2 sides to find this third side. Do we agree?
Yes, sir.
Lovely. So we can use Pythagoras theorem to find part 1.
Yes, sir.
So 8 squared is equal to O squared plus A squared. In this case, 8 squared is 19.2 squared. Somebody in the meantime work the calculator for me, so we're not slow. So 19.2 squared is equal to?
So it's not 19.5.
90. Oh, sorry. Thank you so much. 19.5. Thank you very much. 19.5 squared, and that's going to be equal to 11.4 squared plus the side that we're looking for, which is BC. BC squared. All right, so what is 19.5 squared, guys? Somebody who was working that before me?
380.25.
380.25. I trust that somebody already has the answer for 11.4.
129.96.
129.96. And that is going to be added to BC squared. Now, using your algebra skills, Carry this over there. We're going to get 380.25 minus 129.96. That's going to be
250.29.
So that's going to be 250. 250.29. That's equal to BC squared. So therefore, the square root of 250.29, that will give us BC.
15.82.
15.82. So 15.8 is fine for me. All right, everybody go through with that. That is how you would go ahead and find BC. So we can confirm that from this side all the way out here. Hold on. What is this? So from this side all the way out here, so from here so to here, so is a total of 15.8. We can confirm that. Let's put this on the diagram. 15.8. Every time you find an answer, guys, put it on the diagram. All right, everybody go through with that? All right, everybody sound like them Gucci.
Oh, sir, and I really Gucci, but get distracted, so I have to go rewatch about the video.
As in just a while ago? Or you were distracted a while back?
A while ago, yeah. From home,
Where did I lose you? Where did I lose you?
No, it's not a matter of where you lose me. It's just I got distracted with my family. So,
okay, noted.
I just need to rewatch a video and I pick up from there.
Okay, all right, cool. Oh, nice. What happened? I want to go at this erase. I erase something? Undo. Oh, Lord. Okay. Did somebody erase my working out? Latisha, is it you? Somebody erased my working out right here, so. Hey, I'm beating up, you know. I'll erase my working out there, so. I'll beat him up, you know. Okay. All right. So that is BC. All right. Next question says what now? Oh, that Monica, will confirm or you do it? Okay. All right. You're honest. All right. Now, the next question says, find the length of DC. So remember now, you know, from here so to here, so we said it was 15.8. Now, what I want to know, guys, I want to trick you now, let me zoom up for you. Let me zoom up for you. This is tricky. Now, look at DC, ladies and gentlemen. If you look at DC right here, there's no formula to really help you to find that because that DC side here, so that DC side here so is not even a part of a right angle triangle. This triangle right here, so that one right here, so it is not a right angle triangle. So don't even bother think about trying anything too funny because I'll be looking out for that. You cannot use any formula to find DC. You have to improvise. So what shall go on now? Catch your interpretation. Because we don't know that this here is already 15.8, right? All I have to do is find this side right here. So let me just use on reading, can do that. So all I have to do now, what shall I go on now? All I have to do now, is if I can find this side here, so from here so to here, so if I can find that side by using a formula, if I can find that side, I'm just going to subtract this side right here. I'm going to subtract this side right here from all of that, and I'll get what DC is left. So that's the interpretation. Find a little short side there, which is BD, and subtract it from the 15.8, and I should be good to go. So let me zoom out for you now. Let's go ahead and find BD. That's the key. The key is to find BD and subtract it from 15.8. So if you look at BD now, look at the triangle that BD is associated with, the one in the center right here that I'm coloring. And notice in that triangle, there's only one side in that triangle. So in that triangle, remember the 19.5 is for the outside triangle, you know. The 11.4 is for the inside one that I've put that big red dot or that big red coloring right there. So in that triangle, we don't have two sides, so Pythagoras won't play a role here. We're going to have to use one of the ratio. As it relates to which ratio, let's ask the boys. Which one of you boys can help me? Well, in this case, because I'm finding BD and it is in front of the 28, I know right away that BD is my opposite. And I already know that the 90 degree is telling me that that is my hypotenuse. So I'm not interested in that. I'm only interested in finding this side here, which is my A. So who comes to assistance? Who is our assistant?
Tangent.
Tan or tangent, yeah. So now we're going to run back to this. Now we're going to say, all right, so for part 2 then, tan theta is equal to O over A. So this time now we have the angle tan 28 equals O, which is BD. Well, I call X is up to you. I'm just see if you call X indicates on the diagram. And so BD is O and A, the adjacent is 11.4. So go ahead now, ladies and gentlemen. Since the unknown is at the top, as we had discussed in the first example, BD is going to be equal to 11.4 multiplied by tan 28. Go ahead and type that in, please. 11.4 times tan 28, that tells us the length of BD.
Six.
Exactly 6?
6.06, so yeah, 6.1.
6.1, right. So 6.1. Somebody can confirm that, please. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, so 6.1. So this length is 6.1. So if this length is 6.1 and the whole length is 15.8, then therefore it concludes that that side right there, which is DC, so therefore DC is equal to 15.8 minus 6.1. You're gonna require these planning. So 15.8 minus 6.1. So that looks like 9.8, 9.7. 9.7 centimeter. So this length right here is 9.7 centimeter. Ms. Johnson, your cursor is in my way, love. Thank you. 9.7. All right, so that length is there. All right. I asked for 10 minutes, but I'm just going to need an extra 2 minutes or so. As you can see, it's 8:40. But just extra 2 minutes to wrap up this last one. Everybody Gucci on that one? Are you going to see much more of this, you know? So it's not just this class alone you're going to see. We're going to see much more of this question as we go through the marathons in our extra class on Saturdays. We're going to see a whole heap of them questions. So don't worry, you know, catch it now, but you'll eventually catch it.
Some of you guys can you just take the thing off so we can get a big quiz?
Hi guys, if you look to the top left of your screen now, guys, you'll see 3 lines. It looks like this. Hold on. For some of you who are worried about, the lines look like that. 3 lines. You can click on it and export my whole entire screen to your device, you know. So if you just want to sit and watch the class and then download the PDF or a Word document, the 3 lines like that, touch on it to the top left, and you can actually download the PDF document for the whole screen. All right. I can do it as well now, but the device I have, they're not connected to the group. So I'm going to go send it through WhatsApp over here and then send it back over there. Too much work for me. All right, last question. In fact, you know what? I'm going to leave you with the challenge of work in the last question. Let us take the last question and start off next week, Monday's class with it, okay? We don't want to rush it. So you guys can attempt how to find the angle, and then next week now, when we come back, we can approach this question starting that. All right? So we're not going to rush it. So with that said, guys, that brings us to the end of tonight's session. Thank you guys for joining. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Until then, be safe and have a good night.
Good
Night.
night, everybody.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Nice, sir.
Night.